Hi, third class. This is your story for this week. It's 15A, read this, and it's a series of book reviews. So the first one is The Legend of Captain Crow's Teeth, and the author is Owen Colfer. It's reviewed by Andy McSweeney from third class. Okay. The Legend of Captain Crow's Teeth is a funny story, but it has some scary bits too. 9-year-old Will is on a caravan holiday with his mom, dad, and 4 brothers. At night, Will's older brother Marty tells ghost stories. One story is about an evil pirate called Captain Crow. Marty tells how the pirate climbed on board a wrecked ship one day. A 9-year-old cabin boy on the ship hit Captain Crow with an axe. Now the evil pirate's ghost searches for that boy. If he finds a boy of the same age, he will kidnap him and take him to his ghost ship. Marty says that the rocks nearby are now known as Captain Crow's Teeth. When the rocks glow, it means that Crow's ghost is there. Will is terrified by the story. He is even more terrified when Marty makes him walk near the rocks in the dark. There's a lot of humour in this story. I laughed when Will was at the junior disco and had to dance with girls. I'd hate that. The bit about the game the kids are forced to play at the disco is also funny. They have to crawl around in the dark looking for something belonging to Captain Crow. Will thinks a rat is biting his fingers, but it turns out to be a toy version of Captain Crow's teeth. The story becomes creepy when Will sees the rocks glimmer in the dark and thinks Captain Crow's ghost must be nearby. I like the way Will and his brothers talk to each other. Will's older brother Marty teases him, just like my brother teases me. The characters are very realistic. I think boys and girls age 8 or 9 would enjoy this book. If you haven't already read it, I recommend you read it soon. I couldn't put it down. Okay, so there's just a few words there in bold. The first one there is humour. Humour is like jokes. There's jokes in the story. Marty teases him is to poke fun at in a playful way. Characters are very realistic. They're very real to life. And I recommend it. I would suggest it for a certain age group. The next book review is The Firework Maker's Daughter. The author is Philip Pullman, and it's reviewed by Kate Ward from third class. This is the best book I've read this year. It is a fantasy story full of amazing invented characters. I particularly like the talking white elephant. The story is set in an imaginary land. The main character is a little girl called Lila. Lila wants to be a firework maker like her dad, but her dad doesn't think it is a job for girls. Anyone who wants to become a firework maker must meet with Razvani, the fire fiend. Layla sets out alone on a dangerous quest to the grotto of Razvani, which lies in the heart of a volcano. She must also get royal sulfur, a special ingredient needed to make the best fireworks. I think Layla is a brave and strong character. She keeps clambering up the rough, hot stones of the mountain, even after she has fallen in a rock slide. She isn't afraid to cross the fiery cavern to talk to Razvani. She's also cleverer than the hopeless pirates who tried to kidnap her, and she saves them from a tiger with one of her powerful fireworks. Phil Pullman writes brilliant descriptions that help you picture what's going on. I love the description of 1,000 fire imps swarming through the flames in the grotto. I could really see what was happening in the story. The names of Lila's fireworks are fantastic too. I love the idea of crackle dragons, leaping monkeys, golden sneezes, and tumbling demons. If you enjoy fantasy stories, I think you'll love this book. I recommend it for boys and girls between 8 and 10 years old. So some of the words in bold there. Invented. Invented means to make up something. Imaginary land is it's made from the imagination, so it's made up as well. Going on down, swarming would be like flocking through the flames. And is that it? I think that's all on that page. Just seen clambering there, climbing over the rough hot stones. And the last page is a book review. Title is The History of Cars. The author is Chris Marfield, and it's reviewed by Ethan Connolly from third class. This is a non-fiction book that tells all about the history of cars. It contains lots of interesting facts. The book starts by looking at the first car powered by a gasoline engine. It goes on to look at the cars that followed and how each one improved upon the last. It tells you all about Henry Ford. He created the Model T, the first car that lots of people could afford to buy. The information in this book is very interesting, but I don't think it's well presented. For a start, there aren't many photos. I would have liked to see more photos of the very first cars. The photos that were included didn't have captions either. Sometimes I wasn't sure which car was which or who invented them. It was quite confusing. The illustrations they used were very old-fashioned too. I prefer exciting, colourful illustrations. I also thought that there was too much text on each page and not enough headings. Headings help to break up the information in a non-fiction book. They would make it easier to see what each paragraph was about. If you love cars as much as I do, then you will still enjoy this book. Overall, though, I don't think it's as good as it could have been. There's a picture of one of the cars. So some of the words in black there: gasoline engine is just a type of gas that runs the car. Information, it's a fact-based book, so lots of facts in it. Old-fashioned would be out of date, so out of date illustrations or drawings. And I think that's it on your page there. So you can do part A and B this week as well. So they're just wee comprehension questions. They're easy enough answered. You'll get the information in the story. And we'll move on to part C, the vocabulary. So number 1, the comedy film had lots of humour in it. Is that despair, hope, jokes or stunts? And humour is jokes. So it's part C. Second one, there was a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. A shake, a flood, a loom or a glow. And a glimmer is a glow. So 2D. Number 3, the librarian can recommend some good books for you to read. A, criticise, B, suggest, C, complain, or D, review. Recommend is to suggest. So part B there. Number 4, small children sometimes have imaginary friends. Far away, funny, made up, or realistic. Imaginary there is made up. Number 5, Lila was clambering up the rough mountain path. Climbing, walking, rushing, or wandering. And that means climbing. And number 6, the fire ants were swarming through the flames. Wandering, flocking, dancing, or racing. And that's flocking there. And overleaf now, part D vocabulary here. He hates it when his brother something him. Helps, accompanies, or teases. And that would be the last one there, teases him. Number 2, the makeup in the movie was amazingly realistic, imaginary, or old-fashioned. That would be realistic. My cousin and I, something a new game. Recommended, invented, or understood. And that would be invented. Number 4, the first cars had something engines. Oxygen, gasoline, or powerful. And that's gasoline. Number 5, and something book gives you facts about a topic. Old-fashioned, information, or diary. And that's an information book. And number 6, Grandad took his something car to a show. His modern, old-fashioned, or gasoline, and that would be old-fashioned. And part E there is a revision on where apostrophes come. So write the sentences using the correct apostrophes. So you can do that yourselves and come back to this whenever you go to correct it, okay? And just correct it off this. So number 1 there should be an apostrophe after the E. She's borrowed Andy's book, apostrophe after the Y before the S. It's a long way from Dublin to Donegal. It's apostrophe there before the S. It's a beautiful day. Apostrophe there. You should read this because it's a great book. Apostrophe there. I think that's Jessica's pen. I think that's short for that is. And Jessica's belonging to pen. Apostrophe there. He thought he felt Captain Crow's teeth. Apostrophe before the S. Tim mended all the boys' bikes. And the apostrophe here comes after the S in boys because it's more than one boys, and bikes is just plural, so there's nothing there. So if you have anything around that S, take it out, and apostrophe after the S there. Please don't talk so loudly. Apostrophe comes here between the N and the T because don't is short for do not. We'll see you next Saturday. Apostrophe between the E and the first L. We will see you next Saturday, it's short for. She's forgotten her runners again. Apostrophe before the S. Her runners. Runners again is plural, so it's more than one, so there's nothing in front of that S. They're going to the cinema. Apostrophe before the R, because it's short for they are going to the cinema. He's going to eat his dinner now, and apostrophe before the S. So the bottom part, you have to change each phrase to the possessive form. Possessive means it's owned by somebody. Use apostrophes in the correct place. For example, the scooter belonging to Dermot is the same as saying Dermot's scooter, so the apostrophe becomes before the S. The book belonging to Kate. So that is Kate's book, apostrophe before the S. Number 2, the pens belonging to the 2 girls. Now the girls are plural here, so there's more than one, so be careful with this one. And that's your answer, the girls' pens. So apostrophe after the S in girls, nothing in front of pens because it's plural. Number 3, the fireworks belonging to Lila. So the answer there is Lila's fireworks, apostrophe before the S. The cars belonging to the 3 men. The men's cars, apostrophe before the S. Number 5, the truck belonging to the elephant. And that's the elephant's trunk, apostrophe before the S. And number 6 there, the beds belonging to the 2 dogs, the dogs' beds. And part F, there is fact and opinion. So fact is a true statement, we can prove it. So the dress is pink, and an opinion is a viewpoint. So pink is a beautiful colour. So all you have to do in this section is rewrite these sentences and say if they're fact or opinion, okay? And then you can do the part below, which is reviewing, reread the review of the Firework Maker's Daughter, and 3 facts about the book and 3 opinions. And then the last bit as well, you can do that. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. I'll see you soon. Take care, bye.